Coral, and I homeschool 3 children, 10, 7, and 4 are my kids' ages. And I'm going to present homeschooling multiple ages. So we'll start with a little bit of history about instruction of multiple age groups. The single one-room schoolhouse has been in use since the 19th century, and once mainstream schooling was developed in the 20th century, single-room schoolhouses started to decline. Multi-age schooling had a resurgence in the 1960s, and today approximately 1/3 of all classrooms in the world are multi-grade classrooms. Multi-age classrooms are created for various reasons, including schools that have a lower enrollment. They don't have enough kids to separate the classes out, so they combine two grades or 3 grades at a time. Or some types of schools intentionally combine multi-age groups to aid in development and create a diverse learning environment. The reasons the multi-age classroom were developed will dictate the teaching strategies, which will impact student outcomes. Multi-age classrooms are often met with resistance of parents due to a perceived disadvantage to their children. And they started doing, once the multi-age classrooms started coming back into favor in the 1960s, there's been a number of studies that they've done that disprove a disadvantage to those children, and there's actually quite a few benefits. Commonly cited social benefits include older children experience more leadership opportunities. Younger children will aspire to do more difficult work as they see the older children doing. They want to be like the older child in the class or their older brother or sister. And in an actual school setting, not a home environment, the children are able to work with the same teacher for more than 1 year, which allows the teacher to get to know that student better so the education is more individualized. Commonly cited educational benefits include due to literacy and numeracy taught in ability groups, teachers acquire heightened awareness of the children's individual talents and capabilities. In the traditional classroom environment, the traditional classroom teaching and individual teaching methodologies can still apply and they can still work with those. Learning by teaching occurs when the older children help younger children. The multi-age classroom has a wider range of levels to support the children, which in turn can help the instruction to be more individualized. So if you have a first grade classroom, maybe there's 3 reading levels. In a classroom that has first and second grade, there may be 6 reading levels, and that first grader that is reading ahead of her class will have the opportunity to join with the older kids. Or a child that is, I don't even want to say struggling, a child that's reading at a lower level has a broader range to choose from. Given the benefits of multi-age classrooms, we ask, how does this relate to homeschooling? Many experts in the field of early childhood education and education agree that not only do multi-age classrooms work, but they model the classrooms after the family unit and indicate this is the most natural learning environment. So I have actually a list of multiple links of research studies of different experts throughout the country and the world, but a few of them include Sandra J. Stone, the Assistant Director of Early Childhood Education and Literacy Education at Northern Arizona University. She compares groupings in multi-age classrooms to the natural learning environment, similar to that found in families. Montessori is based on a multi-age classroom. I think almost all of the Montessori schools are that, but many Apple International Montessori schools say that it's a natural model, like family gatherings. And In 1997, Chicago charter CICS at West Belden started an experiment with multi-age classrooms, and Education Drive did a report on that project, and they also indicated a likeness to multi-age classrooms to real-life situations, including work and family life. So that brings us to how do we homeschool multi-ages in the homeschool environment. I tried to keep it brief. I have 5 bits that will help pull it together when you have multiple ages. First is to get organized. It doesn't have to be fancy. Some homeschools have elaborate designed schoolrooms and some homeschools are very simple and they have all their supplies tucked into a cupboard. As long as it's organized, it can help you stay on track with your instructional and educational goals. My children, for instance, we have plastic totes from Dollar Tree. They have their name on them. They put their individual stuff in there, and when I'm like, you need to grab this book, they know right where their things are. And they also each have a backpack for when we do things on the go. The second most important thing is combining where you can. 2 days a week, I also have my niece and my nephew with us, and so I have more age ranges, so I'll have 5 kids that I'm homeschooling, and I have more age ranges. Both my nephew and my son are both 4. My niece is 6, and my middle daughter is 7, and my oldest is 10. So the 6 and 7-year-old, we group them together, and they do the same work, and the 2 boys do the similar work together. And sometimes I even group the youngest 4 when we do read aloud story time, and then they both are expected to do work on their own level. I've even developed a few unit studies where I put everything in binders and I tier the work for the entire group. So right now we're doing a solar system unit study. They each have a binder, and my 10-year-old, obviously she has more writing, more in-depth, detailed information that's expected of her, and we go down the line. The third part is keep the lessons short. There are times when each child may need individual support and instruction, and if the lessons are short, it's easier for you to move from child to child and guide them as they complete the tasks needed. I kind of work on a circle system, so I give the instruction, have the child complete the work, and they come back to me and show me as they've completed, and we kind of move around. 4, encourage independence. As children get older, they will be able to do more on their own. Support them in any way you can and offer help if they need. This is a milestone towards adulthood and also helps you divide your time amongst the younger children. My older daughter can very easily grab her materials. She knows what's expected of her in advance, and she can get started and maybe even be done before the other kids start, and I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the day. Sometimes she does need help, and she'll come, she'll be like, Mom, I don't understand this topic, and we'll go over it. But each of them, I'm stepping up their independence. My 7-year-old, we do something together, and then she starts doing a little more independent on her own. The 2 younger children is really hands-on right now because they're so little. Then I also encourage utilizing bits of time that might otherwise be wasted. Sometimes when we're waiting for one of the kids at dance class, I can use that opportunity to do a more difficult task with my 10-year-old that we just didn't have the time to fit in, and now we're sitting there waiting, so we might as well do the work. Riding in the car when the younger kids are napping, or maybe they've gone to bed earlier and you have a little gap of time with another kid, and you can work on them. So a lot of families they're overwhelmed at the idea of homeschooling multiple ages, but the experts that are promoting multi-age classrooms are basing this off of the family and how the family already works. And if you think about it, from the time that your kids are little, You're always instructing them, and you just don't even realize it. You know, you're talking to them in the grocery store, you're already working with them in a way that was natural to you, and that should be the basis when you're homeschooling multiple children formally as a homeschool classroom. And that's all I